who you might have seen on the Tamron Hall Show, which was absolutely amazing little segment, which is where I saw your story. And as soon as
Hmm.
I heard it, I was like, oh my gosh, I would love to chat with you some more because I feel like what you're doing is so inspiring. It is so beautiful. It's so
Oh, thank you.
just, yeah, I absolutely love what you're doing. And I feel like it would be really interesting to share with the viewers a little bit more of your journey and to just chat. Okay, let's
Works
get
for me.
started.
Thanks for having me.
So Mo is a photographer who changed careers to pursue her, I guess, purpose,
Yep, purpose, passion, all those
passion.
things. And photography is just one of the things that I do. It just happens to be what I'm most known for right now. But yeah.
Okay, okay, we'll get into all the other ones
Yeah.
then as well. Okay, so why don't you start with just a little bit of a background of your story? Because I remember you mentioning that you were not a photographer before. What was your
Mm-mm.
original job?
Original career path. So I'll just give you guys a brief
Yeah.
backstory. So I did all the things related to the American dream that I bought into pretty much at birth. Went to college, got the job, got married, did all the things, bought the luxury vehicle and the big house and all that stuff. And then I was sitting there one day, I had had surgery and I was laying there recovering. And it was the first time I really had to sit with myself for any long period of time that I couldn't distract myself. And it was like the weight of all those decisions started to like really ring in my ear and in my heart. Like I was not happy with the path that I had chosen. I was working in the nuclear engineering world, going
Oh,
to this, like super linear like job every day that I just literally hated, that was zapping all my energy. I was a good paycheck now, but it was zapping all my energy and all my just life. And then, I was in a marriage that wasn't serving me at the time, and it was just time to make some shifts. So I left all that and pretty much jumped back into something that used to feed me when I was younger. Because I used to take pictures when I was younger. I never considered myself a photographer. I used to take pictures. I always used to have my camera with me.
wow, wow. Wait, so take a step back for us. So you were in a very unhappy place, it sounds like, right? Your job
Hmm.
was making you unhappy, your marriage was making you
The
unhappy,
lifestyle, just my whole
your
lifestyle at
whole
that
lifestyle
time,
was
it was
making
not
you,
serving me because it was
you
it was something that I felt like that I bought into at an early age of what I thought was supposed to make me happy. And that wasn't the case. I found out that was not the case.
so what was that point in your life that kind of made you face the reality and decide that I'm ready to take a step in a different direction?
That point was when I had surgery, so I had a hysterectomy at a considerably young
Mm.
age, and that's what landed me on my back in bed, immobile for all those weeks as I was recovering. So it was during my recovery time where I had these ahas and all these. It was like the start of the awakening. I call it the catalyst to my journey.
Wow. So you're in your bed
Hmm.
thinking you have a lot of free time on your
A
hands
lot
and
of free
you're
time. I can't shop. I can't go out and distract myself and fill myself up. Like I have been using things and food and drinking and all kind of stuff to fill voids. I couldn't do that no more. I couldn't do it anymore. I really had to face myself, and that was really the first time that I was sitting with myself, and it became an intentional practice. It wasn't at the time, but over the years, it's become really intentional.
wow. Okay, so you sit there, you decide that you want to change, and then you have no idea which way, of course, and how, but you just knew
Hmm.
you were so unhappy that something had to be done one way or
Yes,
another, and you didn't
one way or
care.
another. I knew something had to happen, and it wasn't like it was really the first time that I had even thought about purpose because I feel like I had been on this robotic, like goal driven course for all the, get the degree, get the job, get the man, get the this, get the that. And I felt like I was knocking all this stuff out, but it was like robotic. It wasn't anything that I was doing, from my soul. None of that stuff was moving me from my soul.
So it felt like you were doing everything that the society dictated was the
Most
norm
definitely. Most
that you grew
definitely.
up hearing was the norm, and then you felt like you didn't even feel alive, right? You felt like you were
Mm-mm.
just existing.
I felt like a shell. I literally felt like a shell of myself. So if there's any takeaway from anybody watching this or listening to this, I know we're gonna get into a bunch of other stuff during our time together, but it was like really I had to take stock and be honest with myself of where I was at in life versus like societal expectations and those different pillars that you hit in society versus what I felt like in my soul, and it just wasn't aligning at all.
Yeah, no, I definitely feel exactly what you're saying. I feel like unfortunately a lot of people have had that kind of a journey where they are stuck in a situation they don't like. They're
Or
stuck
they
in a
feel
marriage,
stuck.
in a
Mm-hmm.
field, in a situation just because the society said that that's what you have to do.
What you're
And
supposed
you
to do.
and then you don't even question it and you
You
just
don't question it. That's the thing. Question it. That was the thing. That's when my life really changed. Because in that bed and during that time, like as I was recovering, I found a book about purpose. I never finished the book, but it was like the start of like all of this.
which
I
book?
was.
Which book? Tell us.
It's a
Is it
book
The
called The Purpose.
Alchemist?
No, I did read The Alchemist. That came a
Ah.
little bit later, but I did read The Alchemist. But it was a book called Purpose Driven Life. It was like a religious based book, which I don't specifically subscribe to. But at the time when I did the Google search, that's what came up. And it was like pivotal on my journey to get here. But one of
Wow.
the main things that I did for myself back then, I guess it was intuition or whatever, is I gave myself permission to question everything that I had been taught and told and redefine that shit for myself. I don't know if I can cuss on here, but I mean,
Go for it.
redefined it for myself and made it make sense to me versus just like you said, blindingly following this path that had already been laid out or whatever.
Yeah. Oh my God. Thanks so much for sharing. Yes, I felt your
Mm-hmm.
energy as you were explaining that to me. I was like, yes, she decided to question the norm. She decided,
Mm-hmm.
what if there is more to life than
Yeah.
what we're dictated to believe?
And that's what I said. I said I was literally laying there. I will never forget this moment. I was laying there. These hot tears were like, I'm laying on my back. These hot tears, flowing down my face, and I'm like, there has to be more to life than paying bills, dying, going to a job that I hate, and living a life where I just don't even feel like myself. There just had to be more. I didn't know what more was, but I knew it had to be more.
Oh my gosh, I'm like totally understanding exactly what you're saying. Yes, yes. So I'm very curious to hear what I guess led you to explore photography. It was one of the first things you
Hmm.
got into, sounds like. So what made you explore
Oh,
photography?
I'm still working with the light, guys.
Yes, then we get to see it live in action. This is the whole photography. Lighting is important.
Lighting is everything. So what got me back into
Yeah.
photography? What fell out, y'all? This is live. Okay.
It's all good.
Did it disconnect?
No, I
Sorry.
hear you.
Okay,
Can you hear me?
what
Yeah.
got me back in, what got me back what got me back into photography was my ex-husband actually purchased me a DSLR for Christmas one year. I had always been the girl with the camera. I'd always been the person that I'm still the person that holds all the pictures.
That
I
was
don't even
crazy.
know.
Well, we're good now. We're good now.
Okay.
Awesome. So
Thank
you were
you.
talking about your photography, right? What made you get back into photography for anybody?
Yeah,
Um,
it's something that I had always loved, but I've been doing it with the point and shoot. I've always been the keeper of the family pictures and my family, and it's just always something that was important to me. Um, I got the camera for Christmas. It was an amazing gift, and that just literally I just took off running from there. Yeah.
wow. Wow. That's amazing.
And I'm still
And
working a full-time job. So this was way before this became a business, maybe way before, I was still married at the time, but that was like the early seed planting, I would say, for this to become like the path that I'm on.
wow. That's amazing.
A gift,
Yeah.
guys. Literally, it was a gift from someone, from my ex-husband of all people.
That sparked that in you. Wait a minute, I kind of
Yeah.
like this.
It
I
had me
wonder,
revisit it. yeah, it made me revisit it because basically since I was a kid, I have been styling photo shoots, dressing people up, making them over, taking them on location, taking the pictures. I have literally been doing that since I was a child. I would make my younger cousins, they would have to be my muses. They didn't want to do it at the time, but they ended up being my muses, and those are the first photo shoots I ever styled, and I still have those pictures.
That's amazing.
Mhm.
So one of the things, I guess, for those who don't know, um, there's one very specific thing that you do, which I love, which is what I heard you mention on the Tamron Hall Show, which is the selfie
Mhm.
game, which I feel like is such a interesting thing that you're doing with the selfies because um, a lot of times we hear that, selfie is not something that people should be doing. It's
Mhm.
something that, you're too much full of yourself or
You're
whatever.
too vain. Oh my gosh, you're too vain. Why are you taking pictures of yourself? Yes, honey,
Yeah.
we've all heard it. Mm.
Yeah. So tell us what you think about selfies and how do you help your um, customers with it?
So I have a completely different approach to selfies. I have been taking selfies before selfies were a thing. Back when I had a point and shoot 110 Lee click camera, which a lot of you people of a certain age will remember that camera. But basically, I used to take my camera and hold it like this and take selfies, and then they were on film. So I couldn't even see them. I'd have to wait to get the film developed before I could see them. But I've been doing that since I was a teenager. So my approach to selfies is my approach to life, and what I do is I help women see themselves, be themselves, and free themselves. And if a woman can look herself in the eye and be confident and take a selfie and not give a damn what the world says, I feel like that's one of the most powerful things that you can do to learn to love and see and appreciate yourself. So the world tells us, that taking selfies is vain, it's selfish. I'm here to tell you to stop believing those lies. Taking selfies is a form of self love, it's a form of self trust. And when you can trust yourself, you move around the world a whole lot differently in your power. And that's what I want women to do.
Yeah, that is such a beautiful idea because that's exactly what I was kind of feeling whenever I would take a selfie for myself or whatever. I would kind of, take time to just, dress up or put
Love
something
on and
cute.
appreciate yourself.
Yeah, and you just
Yes.
feel differently. You have that smile on your face. You have that joy. And it's like, why not? If this is something that's bringing you joy, if something is making you smile, and
Don't
look,
deny yourself because society tells you different. They want us to believe that. Though that's how they keep us stuck. That's how they keep us in these boxes. That's how they keep us operating at a minimal instead of truly stepping in and owning all of us. That's when we really show up and glow up and change shit. Like, at least that's what I think.
yeah, no, I am totally. That's why it was one of the most interesting things from when I heard you speak at the Tamron Hall Show was like, wait a minute, that is so true. And you kind of confirming that for me on public television was amazing. I was like, yes, selfies should be a good thing. Selfies
Selfies
make
should
people
be
feel
a good
good.
thing. Yes. And I'm here to teach women and to inspire women and to motivate women to love their selfie. That's the title of it. Started out as a course. Now it's become a live event. Love Your Selfie by King Moe, where I literally teach women, the power of that ownership and seeing themselves and being themselves and freeing themselves so that when they step out into the world, they are a force to be reckoned with. They taking up space. Yes.
Wait a minute, wait a minute. I didn't hear this part. What do you mean this is a live event? Tell us more.
So I was teaching it in the form of a course. So last year, during the pandemic, I couldn't get to my clients. This was really pivotal for my business and for myself. So this is when I was able to take my services and my personality and all of the King Mo-ness online. So I created this course. It was a 4-week course. And during the process of me teaching the 4-week course over and over, I've had some beautiful testimonials. Like, I've got to watch women literally like see the light switch when they see themselves and step into all of that. And then I got asked to, on the side, I started to get asked to come speak at like women's events, team building events. And so I was doing the Love Your Selfie as a demo at these events. And I'm like, if I can have this type of impact in 2 hours, this doesn't have to be a 4-week course. This can be a live event, and I shine on live. So That's what it is. Coming in February. So stay tuned. Love Your Selfie
Oh,
Live. You can
oh
tune in
my
from
gosh.
anywhere in the world. Literally, you can tune in from anywhere in the world. And maybe one day we'll actually take this show on the road. Like literally. But we'll
Who
see.
knows? Oh my God, that is amazing. Look at this. So it started from photography, and then you chose to do a small 4-week course where you were teaching
Mhm.
people about the selfies and the
The
power of
power of a selfie.
a power of a selfie, where they would go through, I guess, different modules or whatever it is every week
Hmm.
of kind of steps to kind of reclaim their own power, right?
Yes.
Reclaim
Hmm.
themselves and feel good about themselves.
Hmm.
And then that turned into people asking you to speak at events.
Yes. It's an evolution. And when you allow yourself to evolve as things align and you like for me it's a lot of surrender. It's a lot of not trying to control everything, not trying to make things play out the way that I want them to play out. Like me just allowing and then things aligning. This is what you get. Like this is what you get.
This is so interesting that you mentioned the word allowing and not trying to control, because I feel like that's a big step that people need to learn to overcome, which is like, even for me, it's very difficult to
It's a
stop the
process.
control and allow it to happen. Talk more about kind of your journey into getting to that
Mm.
place.
Who y'all? This has been a journey. This has been a hero's journey. Let me say that because we're not taught that. So much of my life since that day in that bed back in 2011 has been unlearning. So much it has been
Yes.
unlearning. The systems and ways that we have been indoctrinated in through society. Since birth. So we're taught. We work hard and that we're supposed to control all these situations, and a lot of us are just control freaks by nature, by trauma, by all different reasons. So for me it's been a continual and intentional process of
Oh, sorry. I don't
uh-oh,
think you can. Can you hear me?
I can hear you fine. Can you hear me?
1 second, 1 second.
Okay,
Okay, go for it, go.
you good? All right, we're good.
No, I can't. For some reason, I can't hear you. Can you hear me?
Hmm. I can hear
This
you
is
just
so
fine.
crazy. 1 second. Let me try to
Okay, no problem.
this out. Can you hear me now?
Hmm. I can hear you fine.
I can't hear you.
Really? Yeah. Hello, hello. Want me to
Can you
disconnect
try to say
or
something again?
try something different?
No.
Hello.
Oh my gosh, 1 second. Try. Let me
Hold
try
on. Let me
again.
check my
Can you?
audio. It's showing like
I
I'm
can't
doing the
hear.
audio
Nope.
check on the screen.
Nope.
It's showing my audio go up
There's
and down
nothing I
as
can
I
hear.
talk.
Nope.
Can you hear me now?
Ah, yes, yes.
Okay.
Awesome. Also, so we were
Okay.
talking about the journey of getting to a place where you are allowing and not trying to control as much as the society, I guess, taught us. So take us back
Yeah.
to that
Okay,
process.
so I'm gonna just tell you guys, this has been a process, and this will probably always be a process. I'm a personal development junkie. Like I'm all here for just personal growth, self help, like all those things. So I dived headfirst into books, and then when books weren't enough, I reached out and I started getting coaching, and I've been in therapy. So it's just been a process of having those tools and learning that a lot of the times we think we know what's best for us, but the universe has amazing things in store for us if we just sit down somewhere and shut up, that they can deliver it. So it's been one of those things about tapping in, tuning in, getting still, being quiet, following nudges. And again, understanding that there's this beautiful force outside of us and also within us that's here to help us. And a lot of times we get in our own way, mess stuff up for ourselves.
That is so
Yes.
perfectly said. That is perfectly said. It's those little nudges that are speaking to you through your life journey If you just pay attention to
Tap
what life is
in.
teaching
Yep.
you,
Hmm.
listen,
Yep.
stay quiet, and then instead of controlling, I feel like one of the ways, I guess, from what you're saying is kind of you are more open to
And you're
possibilities.
being
You're more,
led. Yeah, it's instead of trying to control everything and being the leader, you're actually listening and being led. And the way that I got to that was through meditation. So I started a lot of this started unfolding through all different forms of meditation. For me, buying books on meditation to actually sitting and studying with Buddhist nuns. Like I went to a Buddhist nunnery one day. I had been driving past this nunnery probably for years. I didn't know. I didn't know. I just knew that it was somebody in there that I needed to work with. And one day, I finally stopped. I knocked on the door. I had no idea that it was a Vietnamese nunnery, and they didn't speak English. But they happened to have a translator there on site that day. They came out. They talked to me, and then I started working with them for a series of months after that, where we would just, there was the translator wasn't even there on site a lot of the times, but we were able to communicate and they were able to help me be still. Um, and then, yeah, the rest is pretty much
that's
history.
amazing because it's definitely like the one of the most powerful tools like I hear people say is meditation. Because with
Yes, don't sleep on
meditation,
it.
yeah, because with
Mm-mm.
meditation, it does allow you to connect within, right? It
Yes.
allows you to shut out the
That
noise.
subconscious or that like whatever you call it, whatever you refer to it. Some people refer to it as the God in them, their subconscious, like all those things. But all I know is it allows you to tune in and know things and be led by things that normally you wouldn't even be able to hear.
Yes,
It's magical in
exactly.
my opinion, and I tell everybody it's not one of those things where you have to be perfect at it. It's not one of those things where when you first start out you're going to be sitting for hours at a time like a monk. Don't expect that of yourself. Just don't do that to yourself. But it's one of those things that you can start and be intentional about and just build on little by little, and you will start to notice things in your life that you like, how do I even know this? Where did I even get this information from? Because things start to come through you.
Oh my God, that is perfect the way you're describing it. I was gonna say if you want to share a few tips, but it sounds like you just did. It's basically kind of first you start very small, right? You don't do hours a day. You
Yeah,
just
you're
do a
not built
little
for
bit.
that. No, not at all.
You just sit
Mm-mm.
with yourself for 10 minutes, 5 minutes, however much you can.
Even guided, if you have to start with, like I deal with ADD, ADHD. So sitting still for like even 3 minutes in the beginning, it was like, what in the so give yourself some grace. Even if you have to start with a minute, celebrate that minute and then build from there.
Yeah, celebrate that minute. Perfectly said. You have to be celebrating your own achievement. That's an achievement. You sat
Mhm.
down for meditation.
You said you were going to do it. You sat down, you did it. Yeah.
Celebrate ourselves. That's perfect. I feel like we don't really spend enough time celebrating ourselves. We think that
Don't get
unless
me
it's something
started.
really big and major, then there's nothing to celebrate, you know? But
That
that's
don't
not
get me
true.
started. Yes, I'm one of those. Now I have to be reminded of this, guys. I'm not going to get on here and want people to think I'm a be all, know it all. Like I'm not that person. I'm that person that has help as well. I'm that person that has a coach. I'm that person that has a therapist. I'm that person that's surrounded by people that feed my soul. So I definitely don't do this alone. And I don't want people to think that they have to do this alone or that I'm up here telling you some things that, you know, I want to be relatable to the people. I'll just say that.
Yeah, yeah, that's amazing. That's amazing. And I feel like, yes, it's like you said, it's a process, it's a journey, and
It's a
everyone is always going to
journey.
be going to that next level, going to that next level. You're never
Hmm.
on the same level. You're always growing, you're always
Hmm.
progressing. And it's
And it can
okay
look
not to be.
different. It can your journey and your progress or your regressions, guys, they're going to be regressions during these processes. I mean, you're going to take 10 steps and then you might realize something and take 2 steps back, but you still 8 steps further than you were.
Oh, perfectly said. Yes, because sometimes people get discouraged. They're like, oh, I was doing so well, and then I took a step back. It's okay. Like you just said, that's perfect.
Celebrate.
You are still
Hmm.
ahead and better
Hmm.
than where you were.
Yep. Yep.
That's perfect. Absolutely love it. But yeah, I feel like all this like journey and I feel like all this like spiritual journey and the meditations and all these little things where you kind of face yourself and you're more
Yes,
self-aware.
that part, that facing yourself, because that's the thing that people are always in my inbox. People are always reaching out to me and they're saying, "Oh, I love your glow. Oh, I love your energy. All of this." I'm like, "Yeah, you do." But what you don't see is all the work that I put in behind the scenes of seeing myself, of being
Yes.
myself and freeing myself and facing those demons, that trauma or whatever it looks like for you, and being intentional about healing those things. I feel like that's where so much of our power gets given away, is we don't make it our priority. A lot of the things that happen to us, of course, is not our fault, but it is our responsibility to heal those parts, to nurture those parts, to love those parts so that we can show up as our best and biggest self.
Yeah, perfectly said. Exactly. It's that inner work that
That
goes
inner
into
work.
getting to
Yes.
that place, getting rid of all the, like you said, all the unlearning, all
Mm-hmm.
those steps that you thought was the truth, kind of undoing
Yep.
all that, removing all the trauma, all the
Mm-hmm.
past fears, doubts, and becoming more and more of your true, authentic
Of
self,
your
right?
true self. A lot of the time, it's not about becoming anybody else. It's just becoming more of who you were really meant to be. And that's what I like to capture with my clients in our photo shoots. Like I do have a celebratory photo shoot session where clients can book to celebrate anything, whether
Awesome.
it's just to celebrate themselves. I posted, it's a quote, and I can't remember the author of the quote, but it's on my website, and she is credited on my website. But it was like, we have self-love, we have self um we have self-love, we have self-help, and we need self-celebration. Like, it's all
Yes.
those things, something like that. I know I'm messing up the quote, but it's something along those things, because women, we're so, a lot of times we're taught to be so selfless, and we just give and give and give of ourselves, and that's what's always expected. So whenever we do anything, even the smallest thing to celebrate ourselves, we're a lot of times made to feel selfish. And I'm here to say, no, 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 no. I need you to prioritize your happiness and prioritize your joy, and whatever that looks like for you. And it's nothing selfish about it. Nothing. There's nothing selfish about giving to yourself first. Nothing.
Yes, that's perfectly the way that you just said it, is because we definitely are taught to believe that if you're focusing on yourself,
Self-sacrifice. Yeah.
yeah, if you're doing things for yourself, you're selfish, you don't like all this negative talk, which is not the truth. Because in
Mm-mm.
reality, which what I'm hearing you say is if you are spending time celebrating yourself, if you are spending time, being kind to yourself, doing that
Mm-hmm.
self-care practice, whatever it is for you, even just a little selfie or taking a bath or whatever it is, you are actually filling up your energy. You're making yourself feel your
Mm-hmm.
true self. You're filling up your energy, and you have more to share with the world when
You
you're.
have more to share with the world. You have more to share with yourself. That's when you really start to glow. That's when your light really starts to shine, because you're not giving from a depleted or an empty space of
Yes.
obligation. A lot of times we're just giving from obligation. We don't even want to do that shit. We just giving because we think we're supposed to.
Yes, exactly. A lot of times people are just like robotic, like,
Robots, yes, that part.
yeah,
Yes.
it's like we have to do this because we have to do it. And that's
And
just the
nobody's
way
ever
it is.
questioned it. Nobody's ever questioned it, and yeah.
Yeah. Well, I want to ask a very kind of specific question, because it sounds like your journey is so interesting. And I think one of the things that I would be curious to know would be who inspires you?
Oh my gosh. I've never been asked that before. I don't really have an answer. I'll say this: people that live life on their own
Yeah.
terms, that are unapologetically themselves, that are kind, compassionate, strong, and straight up, those type of people inspire me. And they
Yes.
look different, they come in different packages, they come in different whatever. So I don't necessarily have one part outside of Oprah. And I say
Ooh.
Oprah because, growing up, Black girl from the South, there wasn't a whole lot of representation on TV, um, for me to see in the first place. And then the fact that Oprah taught these like spiritual practices, she was about being your best self. And, hence she was sharing out these tips and these tools and things that I may have not had exposure to outside of her. Like some of the first books that I read and really sunk my teeth in and my soul into were books from Oprah's book club. So Oprah, seeing her glow up, not necessarily understanding all of her walk, but I respect that woman, and I'm just inspired by what she's been able to accomplish and how she's been able to serve the world as a whole.
Yes, that's another example of someone who followed her purpose. She
Yes.
followed her intuition.
Mm-hmm.
She wasn't going by the norm and what she was told
Mm-mm.
because she looks a certain
Right.
way, she cannot do
Mm-hmm.
this and that. And because there was nobody before her, it's like she
Right.
just went with her gut.
And that's another thing. I didn't realize, like back then, I didn't realize how spiritual she was and how a lot of the things that she said, I can identify with now about being led and surrender. And she talks a lot about aligning. I think she got it from Eckhart Tolle, and I could be messing this all up, but it came from Seat of the Soul, I believe. But aligning your purpose with your personality, and that's like the perfect mixture for you to just literally live life out loud and help and serve in the way that you were sent here or you came here to do. So I'm so big on that, aligning purpose with personality, and not
Yes,
putting myself
yes.
in a box.
Well, I guess, and you are kind of a living, breathing example of that it is possible and that it does work, and then it can lead you to a much happier, more fulfilled life. So
Definitely.
if you had to share, let's say, 3 tips for someone who is kind of stuck in the bad place and figuring out how they can move past that and go for their passion, what would you say, like small steps that they can take
Okay.
to get closer to their purpose and passion?
I would say the first thing is, again, giving yourself that permission to question everything, and how it feeds or doesn't feed you. So that's one thing. Giving yourself, just opening that up, giving yourself permission to question everything. Also, offering yourself forgiveness. That's
Mm.
one of the biggest things that I feel like we don't do. We out here forgiving everybody but ourselves. And that's where it should start. Um,
Yes, forgiving
and
yourself, that's
for,
major.
forgiving yourself, um, questioning, allowing yourself to question everything, and allowing yourself to dream without um, putting a cap on it.
Yeah, like the
I think,
box and the
yeah, the
limitations.
limitations, a lot of the times, I think a lot of the times, if you just start to dream and allow yourself to dream, I think your dreams motivate you to do those things that are truly meant for you to do. A lot of times we don't, because we only allow ourselves to dream by what we've seen or what we've been taught or what we've been told. I want people to completely just blow that box all the way up.
That is
Um,
perfect. That's exactly
yeah.
what I would. Yes, I agree with all of that. If that's a very interesting thing, the last point when you mentioned allow yourself to dream and kind of throw it out of your head that this is not
Hmm.
possible, that's not possible, that's not my
Right,
thing, I'm
because you
never.
never know. Like this is, yeah, 10 years ago when this journey was starting for me, like I allowed myself to dream big, and some of the things that I've dreamt about like have been tops times 10. So it's just like take that limit off yourself. And also, I'm not here to paint this perfect picture. Like when you start meditating and when you start doing all this, life is just gonna be perfect, because it's not. Life is full of challenges, and if you see those challenges as lessons, if you see those challenges as things that are allowing you to be pushed forward or grown in a certain way, instead of like a why me, instead how can I make this work for me type of situation, man.
Yes, it's perfectly
Grow
said
leaps and
again.
bounds.
Yeah, every time you have faced with a new challenge, a new project, look at it as the lesson that it's showing you, right?
And I
What
know it can
steps
be
is.
hard. Like a lot of we're dealing with all different types of things. Like I deal with all kind of stuff daily. But if you know that from your core that this is really here to serve you and not here to beat you down, you can look at it in a different way, and you can take a different approach and reframe it. I feel like it helps you reframe it better that way.
That's amazing. Yes, I love it. I love it. So if you could share with us, because now that you are living your purpose and you
And
are kind of,
it's still evolving though. Here's the
it's
thing, it's
still
still
evolving,
evolving.
it's still
Yeah.
growing. What would you say were some of the, let's say, top three favorite moments in your, I guess, purpose driven life?
Oh, I don't know.
It could be a favorite client of yours. It could be a favorite program you created.
Well, I would say one of the top things for me was not allowing my photography to be put in a box and do it in a way that it had been done before around me, or like, so really putting myself into my work, and giving myself permission to do it on my own terms versus what I thought people would want or what I thought would look the best, kind of sort of thing. So that I'm really proud of myself for stepping out or stepping into that and owning that part of myself. I'm also very proud of myself for stepping into King Moe and owning the. I identify as a king, and people are like, "You're a queen." Yes, I am a queen, but I
Yeah, why
identify.
king?
Yeah, I identify as a king because it's like owning all those parts of me that people said was too much. So now it's like, oh, you just go get all of that and some,
Ah,
you know.
yes. Oh, is that too much for me? Well, I'm gonna own
Yeah,
all of it.
I'm just gonna own all of it. I'm gonna own all of it. So really stepping into myself and stepping up for myself to live life on my own terms and define it in a way that works for me.
Beautiful.
Um,
That's
and
beautiful. Trusting
trusting
yourself.
myself. Yeah, trusting myself. I mean, again, that's a daily practice. It's a daily process. But I'll say learning to trust myself even more, trusting myself with myself and not looking to the outside world for that validation, that what to do, knowing that it all lives inside of me and I have access to it.
Amazing, amazing. Thanks for sharing. Well, what would
Yeah.
be what would be your favorite, I guess, service or program or a part of the job that you do? What's your favorite part?
I tell everybody that my job is selfish. Like, it's very selfish. I'm here serving, serving the people, but my job is selfish because I literally have a front row seat and a backstage pass to see my clients glow up and show up. So just seeing them see themselves, like when we're at a photo shoot or even in a selfie class, when you can see when a person sees themselves, it's almost like a light comes on. And I'm like addicted to that. And it doesn't necessarily have to be through photography or through, love your selfie. It can be through a conversation. I feel like I always call myself a motivational beer and a seed planter. So whenever I can see something come alive in somebody else, that just makes me happy.
That's beautiful. That's beautiful.
Yeah.
Like I'm loving the impact that you are making with your clients, like you said, through photography or through that selfie course or whatever
Through
speaking engagements you
conversations.
have.
Yeah.
It sounds like, yes, every day you're literally making an impact. And I feel like the more people understand that they don't need to be like this big celebrity to be making an
Right.
impact.
I had to understand that for myself as well. Because I was thinking I needed to be on a stage, I needed to be in front of a camera, I needed lots of people around me. And one of my good friends, her name is Maria. One of my
Ah,
good friends, Maria, said to me, "You don't even realize the people that you affect just daily, just being yourself. It may not even be about that stage. It may be about like the generational things that you're freeing your family from or your younger cousins from. It's like that ripple effect. So no, you don't need a huge stage. You don't need a huge platform to touch lives, have ripple effects, and live out your purpose."
yes, that's exactly what I'm saying. Like watching you kind of become the true you on your journey
Hmm.
and watching how many people you're impacting. It's just by you being yourself. It's
Just
just by
being
you.
yourself. That's the magic, y'all. That's the magic. I like literally I had to get to that magic as well, but that is the magic. The magic is you being yourself and continuously coming home to yourself and being intentional about that.
Yes. Oh my gosh, I love your whole story. I love your whole journey, and it's absolutely beautiful. So we're gonna close out with two questions.
Okay. You good with the
So
questions. Let me get ready for this.
I try to make it exciting for you. Thank you. Okay, so first question is, if you could create one rule or one law that people should live by, what would it be?
Oh gosh. One law or one rule that people should live by, what would it be? Be yourself, all of you. Even the parts that you think are too much, be it.
Oh my God,
that's
even the
that's
part
my
that you
law.
think is too much, be it. I love it.
Yeah, that's my one rule. Be yourself. Yeah, everybody else is taken.
What do you say to those who are afraid to be their full self and being too much? What do you say to them?
I would say, um, I've actually gotten asked that in different forums and different things. Um, what would I say to that? I would say a lot of the things that you're fearful of don't even really exist. A lot of it is in your head. A lot of
Yes.
it has been created from a story that you told yourself or that you've been told over time. So it would really be to your benefit to free yourself from that in some way, shape, or form, whatever that looks like for you. To start getting the help that maybe you need to do that so that you can see yourself, um, because it will definitely benefit you. That
That
fear
is
isn't truly
beautiful.
serving you. Yeah.
Yes, that's beautiful. A lot of the times, the things that we think are in our head are not really
They don't
reality.
even really exist.
They
Yeah.
don't exist.
So if you start like for me, I started pushing envelopes early. I say pushing envelopes for lack of a better term. Early, and I real like people would like even with me wearing my natural hair when I was in the corporate space. I shaved my head and wore my hair natural when I was in corporate. This was years and years and years ago before it was a thing. And people would pull me to the side in the elevator or whisper to me, like, what are you doing? You're gonna get yourself fired. Says who? Says who? This is just a fear that's been placed on us. We can still move in fear or move through fear. The fear never is really gonna leave us. We just gonna have to do it anyway. Um, so yeah.
Perfect. Perfect. Thanks so much for sharing. That's a beautiful answer. I absolutely love that answer. And I
You're
feel like that's
welcome.
exactly what I feel is the missing piece of kind of completely come out of that shell or that, I guess, one way box living
Mm-hmm.
and not allowing ourselves to be our full self is because
Mm-hmm.
we think, oh, what if they don't accept it? Oh, what if they
Mm-hmm.
react this way?
But
What
what
if they
about the
react
people
that
that
way?
do? Exactly. So that's the thing. We're always afraid of the negative. We won't even give ourselves credit for what the positive could be, you know? That part.
Oh, yeah. What if they like it? What
Yeah,
if they feel
reimagine the
inspired?
positive. Yes.
Give us some examples of the positive. Like, what would be the positive? What if
um,
they?
Okay, so I'll give you an example of one of my students. She was one of my first Love Your Selfie students. I remember she came in the course. She was a little shy in the beginning, and then she literally shaved her head, put on some red lipstick, started taking selfies and posting them. And the response was nothing she ever imagined. It was like, I see you, you go, girl. Like, wow. She ended up inspiring people when she thought she was just too much and was going to turn people away. So that type of thing. That type of thing.
Amazing. Look at this. They take your course and then something happens out of it they didn't even expect. They are
Yep.
inspiring people.
Hmm.
Instead of being afraid of what they'll think, they ended up inspiring.
Yes. It is when I tell you it is beautiful for me to get to watch, to see that happen and to see that unfold. Like that shit never gets old to me. Ever. Ever.
That's so beautiful. Sounds like a very beautiful program. I feel like, yes, at the end, we're definitely gonna recommend everyone your social media links or your website. I want everybody to try your
Come
course.
check me out. Come and check
It
me out.
sounds amazing.
And I'm
Okay.
evolving, and that's the beauty of it, guys. I'm evolving. So I came into this entrepreneurial space as a photographer, personal branding, beauty, celebration, all about empowering women. That transitioned to the course, now the live event. Now I'm getting opportunities to, host things and speak.
Oh.
And who knows where this is going to take me? I'm just allowing. I'm allowing my gifts to serve, and I'm just gonna have fun with all this.
Yeah, it sounds like exactly what you just said. You are just getting out of your own way. You are
Mhm,
being open and you're just doing your thing. And whatever opportunities come your way, they come your way. But you keep
mhm,
going with the same
mhm.
path that you are on. And then if it
Yep,
expands into other areas, then it expands.
yep. That's you nailed it. You nailed it.
Okay, so one of the final messages, I guess, before we get into all the details on your social media, would be if you had a different, an opportunity to share a message to the world, what would it be?
My message to the world. Oh my gosh. This is the stuff I write about all the time. This is the stuff like I put in
Go
my
for it.
journals.
Yes,
And now
go
I'm
for
like
it.
drawing, but now I'm drawing
We want to hear it
blank.
all. We want to hear it all.
Oh my God. My message, I guess my main message to the world is that you deserve to be able to write your own story. Don't give your pen to anybody else. Um, it's your story to write, to narrate, to live, to enjoy. Um, and don't let anybody else's expectations dictate that.
Beautiful. That is so beautifully said. Write your own story. You
Hmm.
have the power to write your own story. You have the power to create the life that you want
Hmm.
to create.
Yes, here you go. I don't know if it's in reverse, but it says create your own story.
Create your
Yes.
own story.
Live it, y'all. Live it.
Live it. You can do it. Just take that
Yes.
first step.
And that's the thing. I love to tell people because I came from a world where I wanted to take quantum leaps. Like I wanted to just jump from here to another continent as far as, how things happen. But it's those baby steps, it's those little steps, it's those little things that you do every day, that you do consistently, that get you there. A lot of times it's not a quantum leap.
Yes, perfectly said. Again, I feel like it's the small steps that you take every day. It's the
Hmm.
small steps that you allow yourself to move forward, move forward, move forward that bring you
Hmm.
to exactly where you need to be. And like you mentioned,
Yes.
you're always evolving, you're always
Hmm.
progressing, you're always growing. You're never going to stay in the same place
Hmm.
anyway. So
If
just
you
enjoy
stand
the
in the
journey.
same place, you dead. I mean, basically.
All right, so share with us your website, your social media. Where can we find you? Everybody should take her course. I'm totally
Yes.
excited for you.
So you can find me at imkingmo.com. That's my website. All the information about the live event, Love Your Selfie, my
Oh,
photography, my world
oh.
travels. Y'all read my blog. I love to travel the world. It's one of those things I see that's next for me sharing those experiences with people, as a solo traveler and with friends. On Instagram, it's I'm King Mo. It's at I'm King Mo. At LinkedIn, it's Monique Floyd. If anybody's over on LinkedIn, so yeah, you can find me
Beautiful.
at all those places. Say hello, drop me a line on one of my posts. Again, read the blog, join my mailing list. Y'all do all the things.
Yes,
Join
everybody
me. Yeah.
go to her website, go to her Instagram. You're going to love the I feel like so I guess I'm going to say a few words now to you before we close this out. Oh, my camera. I feel like the energy that you put out to the world is very rare. It's a very kind of rare because to see somebody who is living her own life, who is living in her own light, who is kind of allowing
Hmm.
herself to explore the world, explore this life for all it has to offer, no matter which way it leads, you just kind of open to exploring it. And that light that shines out of you it's kind of it's inviting others to
Oh,
want to kind of join that community of yours, to join that kind of I guess journey of yours, and kind of be that version of it themselves, because watching
right.
you kind of become that is inspiring to see. So I just wanted to acknowledge
Thank
you for
you.
what you are
Thank you,
doing,
thank
and
you,
it's
thank
absolutely
you.
beautiful, and keep going, and I'm definitely going to be watching your journey, and hopefully we'll do another interview at some point.
Yeah.
It will be
I would
amazing. I'm sure you're going to have amazing programs
I would
coming
love that.
up.
I would absolutely love that. I have enjoyed myself. I have enjoyed you. And it's
Oh, thank
funny
you.
that you say that because I have been saying since 2014 that I get paid to be myself, all of myself, as I help others be more of themselves. And little by little, it is coming true.
Amen. That is so amazing. You see, write that down. Whatever you want it to be, write it down.
Speak it, write it, live it, walk in it. Yes.
Oh, all right. Thank you so much
Thank
for
you so much.
joining. We're gonna turn this off, but we can still stay.